Hey there, everybody. Decided to play a one-off game of inside pitch, 1977 style, and practice a new setup that I want to try for in the upcoming baseball season. You might recognize the board. It's a board that RJL uses for his games, and I think it works perfectly for a game like inside pitch and payoff pitch. Maybe not so much for Stratomatic, but certainly for inside pitch and payoff pitch, it seems to be the trick. So I'm going to try this setup and see how it goes. We'll just wait and see. One of the reasons why I got this board was for this setup, but also the other part that's probably as important or as helpful, maybe if nothing else, is this little other thing you get, and that's the lineup. It keeps the cards separated instead of stacking them and having to get them out of order. And having them stick together. And a lot of times when guys are on base, the inning's over, I got to bring them back, and sometimes they get out of order. This will keep everybody in the right order. So that's another thing on this little game that game board I got that helps with that. This is a one-off game. It's not a real game that was played. It's just the 1977 Dodgers and the Reds from Riverfront Stadium. Got the lineups over here. I'll just mention them as they come up. It's like I said, it's not an official game. This is just a one-off exhibition game to test my setup. See how it goes. I've got this little scoreboard thingy here. Rather than having the thing with the outs and the line score here, I've got the score there. I do have my score sheet here, but that's kind of, for me to keep track of what's going on. For you guys, I'm sure it's a whole lot easier to watch this and this. And so we'll move Riverfront Stadium right over here. Starting pitchers for today's game. For the Reds, it's right-hander Jack Billingham. And for the Dodgers, it is right-hander Rick Rhoden. So when the Dodgers are at bat, we'll put Rhoden over here. When the Reds come to bat, we'll put Billingham over here, much like RJL did. It seemed to work well for him, so why try to reinvent the wheel? The Reds are the home team, so we go with red dice. And, of course, I've got the one chart you need for inside pitch. This is it right here, front and back. And then the rare play chart. That's pretty much it, just those two charts. It's a great game. A lot of things, most of the dice pretty much determine most everything. There's no just haphazard, well, a guy gets 2 stars, so even though the runner on first is slower than me, he would still get 2 stars. This game, you got to earn your bases. And that's based on their speed, where the ball is hit, and the outfielder arm. All right, so with that all in mind, we will get ready to get going. First batter for the Dodgers is Davey Lopes, second baseman. And this exhibition, just trial game setup thingy is underway. Billingham, a 1-6. That's a walk plus, or what they call a super walk. The Cincinnati Reds Stadium, Riverfront Stadium, adds 2. So we come over to Davey Lopes against right-hander. He walks as a 17. Add 2 makes it a 19. The super walk, add 10 more, makes it a 29. So even though that's a 16, it will be a walk to Davey Lopes. So Davey Lopes is on first base via the walk. And he might be looking to run. We shall see. Second man up is Bill Russell, but we do need a strategy roll. Davey Lopes' attempt is a 7. Billingham does not take away from that. So a 1 to 7, we have a steal attempt possible. On a 20, there's a pickoff attempt. Anything else, we ignore it. That's a 3, so Davey Lopes does get the jump. His attempt is a 16 rather. -2 from Billingham drops into a 14. Johnny Bench is a 0 arm, so it's a 1 to 14. They're going to send Lopes. And he's safe, and it's a 2, so possible throwing error on Johnny Bench. His throwing error rating is a 9. If this is a 1 through 9, the ball will sail into center field. Lopes will go to third, 10 or higher. That means that Joe Morgan is able to snag it and prevent the error. That's an 8, so it's going to go fly into center field, so Davey Lopes will go all the way to third base. Single and an error, stolen base, rather not a single, a walk, stolen base, and an E2, and all of a sudden, the Dodgers have something cooking here in the top of the first. All right, another strategy roll potentially for pickoffs. We shall see. There is no 20, so nothing happening. Lopes is not going to try to steal home. The infield is going to play back early on. They'll give up the run to get the out. Billingham, 2-2. That's a double question mark or a pitcher result. Russell's a righty. Over here, 1 to 8 is a single. That's an 18, so it fails. So we just treat it as a blank. Go to Russell. 4-1 is a liner to short. That's out number 1, and it could be a double play. So we'll see. That's the first out. Now the double play, a liner to short with a runner at third. The chart here for line drive double plays, runner on third base. Runner on third base, and it's hit to short. There is nothing. There's no provision for that. So no double play. It's just a line out, and Russell is retired. That'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Reggie Smith, and with 1 out, now the Reds will play the infield in. Since there's 1 out, nothing happening on the strategy roll. Billingham to Smith, 1-6. That's another super walk. And Reggie already walks at a 21 against righties, so even if the super walk's going to make him a 31, Stadium's going to make him a 33, so obviously that is an automatic walk. So Billingham's having some control issues. Runners are on the corners with 2 down. And Reggie Smith has an attempt of 1. Nothing happening on the strategy roll. Infield now at double play depth since we have a force possibility or double play possibility, and Ron Say is good at hitting into double plays, so they're halfway for the double play. 3-6 by Billingham's a strikeout chance. His strikeout rating is a 9. Nothing from the Stadium. That's a 12, so no strikeouts. Say fends off the strikeout. Now he's got to avoid a double play ball. 1-4. It's a star line 2, which is a ground ball to short. So there's your double play chance right there. 3-1. Added by Billingham. The infield is halfway drop, makes that a 4. The pivot at second, Joe Morgan's a +1, makes it a 5. So anything other than a 6, it will be a double play. It's a 4, it's a double play. It's going to go 6-4-3, just what the doctor ordered. And the inning is over. Not sure why it's showing the second inning here on this thing. I don't know how that happened. Let's drop that back. There we go. All right. So, again, trial and error on these things. So Reggie Smith was doubled off or doubled up as part of the double play with Ron Say. And since I have these little card slots, I can put all the cards back in their original batting order, so that makes it nice. Definitely a good thing. Easier for me. All right. This is used, so they're not in the best, I mean, it's not perfect shape for these holders. The cards do get a little stuck in there sometimes, but that just may be operator error that I have to work on. RJL has it down to a science, but I don't. So we go to the bottom of the first. No score. Rick Roden, the pitcher, 16-10, 3.74 ERA. That's a 5-6. 5-6 for Roden is a blank. So we go to Pete Rhodes' card to finish the at-bat. 5-5. It's going to ground it to second. Lopes is there, 1 away. So Rhodes is retired. And that will bring up Ken Griffey, right fielder. Roden, 5-4. That is another super walk. He's a 12. Stadium adds 2. It's a 14. The super walk makes it a 24. So obviously that's going to be an automatic walk to Griffey. So third walk of the game between the two pitchers here in the first inning. And Griffey has an attempt of 3 to get a jump, and he cannot. So he will not go anywhere. Joe Morgan, the batter, little Joe. Infield is at halfway for the double play. 2-6, that's a strikeout chance, but 19 is way too high for that, so Morgan will get to swing. 1-5 is going to fly to center, put away out there by Rick Monday, and that is out number 2. 2 down, and that brings up George Foster. Griffey, see if he can get the jump. He cannot. There are now 2 outs. 1-4 is a blank for Roden, so we go to Foster and his 52 home runs. 4-3 is a single pass second, so base hit for George Foster. Let's see if Griffey can get to third. There are 2 outs, so his run rating improves to a 4. And to get from first to third on a S4, you need a 3 or better. Griffey has definitely got that, so Griffey will take third on the single by Foster. And now the Reds have something cooking in the first. 2-out rally by the Reds. And that brings up Mr. Johnny Bench. Runners on the corners, 2 down. Strategy roll. Nothing happening. So Roden will work the bench, trying to get out of the mess. 1-2, and that's a super walk again. So bases are now full of reds. The board's starting to get a little busy with all these red cards out here. And that's the 4th walk of the game here in just the first inning between the two pitchers. No strikeouts and 4 walks. And that'll bring up the number 5 hitter, or number 6 hitter actually in the lineup, Danny Dreesen. Bases loaded, strategy roll because there's a pickoff chance. But there's no pickoff. Roden to Dreesen. 4-2, and that's a strikeout chance. We were talking about strikeouts, but that won't happen. He's only a 10, that's a 15, so no strikeout. Dreesen will swing. 6-2, he's going to single past second base, so that's the first run of the game for the Reds, as Griffey will score. The question is, will Foster score? On an S4, to score from second base, all you need is a 2, so Foster with 2 outs is actually a 4, so he will score. And Johnny Bench will take third because you need a 3 base running to get to third. He is a 2, but with 2 outs, he becomes a 3. So Dreesen with a 2-run single. And the Reds now lead it 2-0 here in the bottom of the first. And all those walks are coming back to haunt Mr. Roden. And that'll bring up the number 7 man in the order, Dave Concepcion. So Concepcion is in there. And Roden will have to try to regroup after giving up that 2-run single. Strategy roll. Nothing happening. Dreesen at first getting his lead but can't get anywhere. Roden the pitch to Concepcion. 6-2 is a ballpark card going to Riverfront Stadium for the first time. So a lot of home run chances on Riverfront Stadium. It gave up 166 home runs, 52. Well, that could be a lot of that because of George Foster. But we'll see. 4-1, that's going to be a star line 1, which is a ground ball to second. Lopes will throw to first to end the inning. But just like that, whoops, the wrong score there, didn't I? Messed that up. It's actually 2 there. So now we go to the top of the second inning. It is 2-0, favor the Reds, as they have jumped on Mr. Rick Roden. And now this is where I need to put all these cards back away. Again, I will get better at that as time goes on, hopefully. Roden goes over there. Billingham back in his spot. And Steve Garvey will be stepping to the plate for the Dodgers to face Billingham. 2-0 Reds here in the top of the second. 1-5, strikeout chance 8. We'll get him. Garvey's an 8. Stadium doesn't change it. So first strikeout of the game for either pitcher. And it comes right here to Mr. Clean, Steve Garvey. He strikes out. He struck him out cleanly. That's going to bring up Rick Monday. Billingham, 5-1. Split chance against the lefty Monday. It's a blank. So we move on to Monday's card. 3-1. It's going to fly to left. George Foster is there. 2 down. So Monday is retired. And that's going to send us to Dusty Baker. 1-2, that is a blank. We go to Dusty. 5-5 is a star line 5, which is a fly to left, and Foster again will make the play. And at the end of 1.5, it is still Cincinnati 2 and the Dodgers nothing. And coming up for the Reds will be the number 8 hitter, Cesar Geronimo. Geronimo, your batter. 5-3, and that is a hit by pitch chance. His hit by pitch total is a 7, but subtract 5 for Roden makes it a 2. No hit by pitch, so Geronimo will swing. 3-3, and it's a star 5, which is a ground ball to second. Lopes getting a workout over at second base. A lot of ground balls are going Lopes' way. And now it's going to bring up the pitcher, Jack Billingham. Moderately decent pitcher, 161 average. That's not too bad for a pitcher. Did have 3 runs driven in. 5-6 is a blank, so we're going to Billingham's card. 4-6, that's a ground ball to short. Russell. Easy play, 2 down. And we flip the order over to Mr. Rose. Rose grounded to second, his first chance. Roden 6-3 is a range play, first range play of the game. 2-1 is a single to left, but Dusty Baker could take that away. Baker's range is a 2. He cannot take it away. It's going to stay a base hit for Pete Rose. So Pete Rose, a 2-out single. And let's see, he's got an attempt of 2. But nothing happening. So that'll bring up Ken Griffey. Roden, 1-1, strikeout chance. Too high, that's a 9. He only strikes out as a 7 against righties. So Griffey, 6-5, another single to left. So how about that? Single to left, Pete Rose runs as a 3. Left fielder arm, Baker is a 0. There are 2 outs, that makes him a 4. To get from first to third on a single to left, you lose 2, drops it to a 2. So Pete Rose will make third base on a 1 or a 2. He does not. He's got a hold at second base. So even with 2 outs, since the ball was hit to left field, that took away the chance for Rose to get to third base. But he's in scoring position with 2 outs for Little Joe as the Reds try to add to this lead against Rick Roden. Strategy roll, nothing happening. Roden to Morgan. 1-2 is in a super walk again, and Little Joe will draw that walk. So the bases are now full of Reds again for the second time. They did it in the first, and now they do it again here in the second. All this with 2 outs and the bases empty. 2 singles and a walk, and we load the bases for the home run king, George Foster. So Roden really has to bear down, or he won't be very long in this game. Nothing on the strategy. Roden to Foster, 6-2. That's the ballpark card going to Riverfront Stadium. That could be dangerous. 5-2, though. It's a pop-up to the catcher, Mr. Yeager. And so Foster swung hard, but Roden got him to swing under it and popped it straight up the chute. And the inning is over. So Rick Roden avoids catastrophe and gets out of it. We go to the third, still 2-0. Favor of the Reds. Coming up for the Dodgers, it'll be Steve Yeager, the Jägermeister. He will lead things off, followed by Roden and Lopes. Billingham, 2-4. That is a possible error on a throw. Go to Yeager. 3-2, and that is a star 3. Ground ball to first, so it's a possible error on Dreesen throwing to Billingham covering. Dreesen's error rating is a 4. That's a 7, so there's no error on the play. It's going to be a 3-1 3-1 out, as Dreesen's throw was close enough where Billingham was able to corral it and make the play. So 1 down for Rick Roden, a very good hitting pitcher. 231 average with 3 home runs and just 78 at bats. In fact, he's got a double here in his grid, which is, and actually a couple places for doubles because of the question marks, but 1 straight up double there. So he's definitely no automatic out. 1-5, that's a strikeout, though. That might be an automatic out, and it is. That's an 11, that's a 1. So Roden takes the whiff. First strikeout for Billingham. 2 down. And we flip the order over now to Davey Lopes. 5-2, and that is a blank. So we go to Lopes' card. 6-5, and I guess the righty, that's a ground ball to third. And Rose makes the play to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 2-0, favor of the Reds. And quite honestly, the Dodgers are lucky it's not worse. So, Johnny Bench will lead things off here in the bottom of the third. Bench walked his first time up, was stranded at third base. Roden, 3-2. That's a strikeout chance. That's a 3. He will get him. So Johnny Bench out on strikes, and that's the first strikeout for Roden in the game. Roden out on strikes, or gets Bench out on strikes, and here's Dreesen. Dreesen singled his first time up. In fact, he had an RBI single his first time up. 1-4 blank. We go to Dreesen. 1-4 again. It's a single to pass short. So Dreesen 2 for 2 as he snuck it past Russell. So he's aboard, and that's going to bring up Concepcion. And now Dreesen's attempt is a 5. 19, nothing happening. We're not having Concepcion bunt with 1 out. So infield halfway, 5-6. That is a blank. We go to Concepcion. 5-3. That is a star 4, which is a ground ball to third. Could be a double play. 2-0. Their halfway makes it a 3. The pivot at second base is Lopes. He's a 0. So 1-3, and we have a double play. It's a 4, so no double play, but they will get the force on Dreesen. It's a 5-4 force play. Say to Lopes, but couldn't turn it. Dreesen got down the line too quick. So he's there. And now it'll bring up Cesar Geronimo. Concepcion attempt is a 5. That's an 8. Nothing happened. Roden to Geronimo. 5-6 blank. We go to Geronimo. 5-5 question mark 7 against a righty. It goes 1-8. That's a 10 though, so it will be a fly to left field. And Dusty Baker put it away to end the inning. So go to the 4th. Still 2-0 favor of Cincinnati. As Roden has been living dangerously. For sure. Coming up for the Dodgers, it'll be Bill Russell, Reggie Smith, and Ron Cey, heart of the order, against Jack Billingham. Russell, 2-1 is the ballpark card, going to Riverfront Stadium again. 4-4, and that's a ground ball to first. Dreesen takes it to the bag himself, 1 away. And that's going to bring up Reggie Smith. I don't know what RJL thinks about that, but these little placeholders for the cards, the lineup things, makes life a whole lot easier, at least for me. I'm assuming it does for him as well. 3-5 for Billingham, and that is a home run question mark. Smith switch hitter batting left, so it has to be a 1 on the D20. It is not, so that fails. So Reggie will get the swing. 3-2, and he's going to ground it to Dreesen again. So 2 up and 2 down on 2 ground balls to first. And that'll bring up Ron Cey, the Penguin. 6-2, strikeout chance, 1 got him. That's going to do it for the Dodgers here in the 4th inning. As they go down 1-2-3 from Billingham. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 2-0 favor of the Cincinnati Reds. And Jack Billingham will lead things off. He grounded to short his first time up. 1-6, and that's a range play for Billingham. 5-6, that is a star 6, which is a ground ball to short. You see, Roden's a ground ball pitcher. All these results are ground balls. Ground ball to short, we go to the range of Bill Russell. He is a 5. I can't get it. How about that? Billingham sneaks it by on the AstroTurf as Bill Russell couldn't quite get there. And that's a leadoff single for Billingham. Go figure. He has no attempt, but we will check for a pickoff because Roden does have pickoff opportunities, but not now. So we go to Pete Rose. 6-6 is a possible error on a ground ball. Infield is halfway. Rose, 3-5, and that's a double to right field. It's still considered a ground ball, but the 19 is way too high for that. But it's a double for Pete Rose. Billingham is only a 1, though, so probably won't be able to score on this, but we'll double check it. Right fielder Reggie Smith is a 0 arm. To score on a double to right, you lose 1, so that would drop him to a 0. So Billingham will have to hold at third base. But runners are at second and third with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th, and the Dodger bullpen may start to get some action down there as Roden is not fooling anybody. This 3rd time through the order. And down 2-0, they have to play the infield in. They have no choice. Nothing happened on strategy. Actually, with a pitcher at third base, we're not going to play the infield in. We'll play the infield normal. Because they're not going to send Billingham unless it's a base hit. 2-3 is a strikeout chance. 5 got him, so that certainly helps right there. Getting the strikeout of Griffey. That definitely helps. Here's Morgan. Morgan is your batter with 1 out now. Again, strategy for a pickoff. Nothing happening. Roden to Morgan. 1-2. That's a walk. Plus, that super walk's going to load the bases. Yet another walk issued by Roden. Bases are juiced with 1 out for the cleanup man, George Foster. And this could be the beginning of the end for Rick Roden if he's not careful. Infield will play for the double play. They are halfway to turn the double play if possible. Nothing happening on strategy. Roden could use a ground ball double play right here. 6-6 possible error on a ground ball. Foster 2-1, star 2. That's a ground ball to third. That's a 12. And Say's error rating is only an 8, so there's no error on the play. The question is it going to be a double play? And I believe with the bases loaded, let's see here how they want to play that. Bases loaded, let's see. Doesn't really say on the chart about whether it's toward the line or whatever. That's only for first and second. It doesn't say anything about bases loaded. So I'm assuming the double play would go around the horn if they can turn it, since it's not implicitly stated on the little sheet there. So we're going to try for the double play. That's what the Dodgers will attempt to do. Double play rating of Foster is a 2. Nothing there. They are halfway, makes them a 3. The pivot at second is Lopes. He's a 0. So that's going to be a 1-3, and they turn the double play. And they do. To double play, 5-4-3 around the horn, and the gamble pays off. Had they played the infield in, the only play would have been at home, and they probably would not have doubled up Foster, but it happened to pay off for him. And we go to the 5th. Still 2-0 ball game, and Roden just surviving in this one. Lots of base runners for the Reds. They're going to have a lot of left on base, I got a feeling. They're going to run into that. So we shall see how that goes. Right now, Billingham is back out to start the 5th. He'll be facing Steve Garvey, who was the first strikeout victim of the game for the Dodgers in the 2nd inning. 4-2, and that's a possible hit by pitch. He's a 1. Plus 10, though, from Billingham's an 11. So that will be, he will get hit by the pitch because of Billingham. Billingham apparently hit a lot of batters, so his rating is a plus 10. So that puts Garvey on, and that'll bring up Mr. Rick Monday. Garvey, attempt of 2. Infield is halfway, nothing going on. Billingham to Monday. 4-1's a blank. We go to Rick Monday. 3-4, and that's going to be a single to center field. Single to center field by Monday. Garvey is a base run rating of 4. Pretty high for what I would expect. But he's a 4. To go from single to first, third on single to center, you lose 1, drops him to a 3. Geronimo's arm is a -1, makes him a 2. So on a 1-2, Garvey will make third base. He does. So Garvey will make third base despite the throw from Geronimo. And runners are at the corners with nobody out, and all of a sudden now the Dodgers are back in the game. Go figure. Dusty Baker is up. Reds with a 2-0 lead will try to turn the double play. Strategy roll, nothing happened. Nothing happened on the strategy. 1-3 is he's not tired, so there's no automatic single there. Go to Baker. 1-2. It's a single to center field. There's a single there though. Garvey will come in to score. Makes it a 2-1 game. And we'll see about can Mundy get to third. Again, just like we did the calculations before, you lose 1. Going to third makes him to 2. Center field arm is a -1, makes him a 1. So this has to be a 1 for him to get to third base. And he does not. So Mundy will stop at second. But there are no outs. And 2 on, 1 in. 2-1 now. Reds have seen their lead shrink in half to 2-1. And the batter coming up now is Steve Yeager. The Jägermeister. Billingham in trouble. Strategy roll, nothing happening. Infield is halfway for the double play. 6-6, and that's a straight out S1 single. And on an S1, anybody on second will score automatically, so that's going to tie the game. Automatically tying the game. To get from first to third on an S1, you have to have a 4. Dusty Baker's only a 3, so he will stop at second base. But we got to tie a game at 2, just like that, just that quickly. How things can change. We are now tied at 2, and all of a sudden it's the red bullpen that's starting to stir around. As Rick Rhoden, a good hitter, steps to the plate. He's a good bunter as well, so they may go ahead and have him bunt, just to try to stay out of the double play. But we'll do a strategy roll for pickoff first. Nothing happening. So they're going to have Rhoden bunt. He's a 4 bunter, he becomes a 3 bunter, but first Billingham will pitch. 3-4. 3-4 is a range play, so it's going to be a range play on this bunt. Range play on the bunt. That's a 5 on the bunt, and he is a 3 bunter. 3 bunter and a 5 is a good bunt. Now the fielder, 4, is the first baseman, so we're checking the range of Danny Dreesen. His range is a 3. So 1-3, Dreesen will make the play, otherwise everybody's safe. He does make the play. They will get it over to Yeager. He will get it over to Billingham covering. Or actually Joe Morgan covering, actually. So the sacrifice is successful. It's going to go 3-4. Baker will move to third base. Yeager will move to second with 1 out. And now the Reds are going to bring the infield in against Davey Lopes, trying to cut that runoff and keep the score tied. Strategy roll. Nothing happening. Billingham to Lopes. 5-1. Strikeout chance to a righty. That's a 13, though. It's too high, so Lopes will swing. 2-6. Ground ball to third. Ground ball to third. They're going to freeze Baker there. And that's going to be out number 2. As Lopes couldn't get it done. And now with 2 outs, the infield back to normal for Bill Russell. Billingham trying to get out of this with minimal damage. Billingham, 3-6, strikeout chance, 18 too high. Russell gets a chance to put the Dodgers in the lead. 2-6, ground ball right back to Billingham, and the inning's over. But 2 runs come in for the Dodgers. We go to the bottom of the 5th, tied at 2. And now you wonder about Billingham, how long he's going to be able to go. Billingham can face 27 batters. He has faced a total of 20. Rhoden can face 29 batters. He's only faced, looks like he's only faced 22. So he's good for 1 more inning at least. And Johnny Bench will be the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the 5th, tied at 2. Bench walked and struck out in his 2 chances. Rhoden, maybe it's a new life that he's got some run support. 2-4. That's a super walk to a lefty, blank to a righty. So we go to Bench. 2-5. That's a ground ball to short. Russell is there, 1 away. Bench retired. And that will bring up Mr. Dreesen. Danny Dreesen. 3-4. That is a range play at the ballpark. So we go to Riverfront Stadium for a range play. We get a 4-4, and that is a ground ball to first. We're checking Steve Garvey's range. Garvey is a 4. And he makes the play. We'll flip to Rhoden covering. It's going to go 3-1. And that is out number 2. My rationale there, if he had to range that far out, he probably couldn't get to the bag in time, so it made sense to throw the pitcher covering. 2 down, and that's going to bring up Mr. Concepcion. Concepcion, with 2 outs and the bases clear. He is grounded to second and reached on a fielder's choice. Rhoden, 1-2. That's a super walk, and Concepcion with that +10 will draw the walk. So a 2-out walk to Concepcion brings up Geronimo. Concepcion needs a 5 to get a jump. He does not get it, so we go to Rico Roden to pitch to Geronimo. 3-1, strikeout chance 15 is too high. That's only a 14. Stadium doesn't change it. So Geronimo fends off the strikeout and will swing 4-3, and he gets a base hit past first base. So how about that for Mr. Geronimo? And on an S3, to get from first to third on an S3, you need only a 2 or better. Concepcion's a 4, actually a 5 with 2 outs, so he gets third automatically. Runners are at the corners with 2 down, and Billingham is going to be pinch hit for it. So they will make the move. Sparky will make the move to pinch hit. And let's see who they want to use. I don't have like 25-man roster or anything because it's an exhibition game. So let me see who they might want to bring in to pinch hit. Do they have any lefties? They do have Mike Lum. He's not a very good hitter. Champ Summers isn't much better. Do they have anybody else that they can go to? Not really. I mean, their bench is kind of weak. Actually, the best hitter they have on the bench is Ray Knight. So even though he's right-handed, we're going to use Ray Knight. So Ray Knight will pinch hit. He's got the best average. So it's an exhibition game, so there's no roster restrictions. So runners on the corners, 2 down. Rick Roden now. Strategy roll, nothing happening. Roden to Knight. 6-1 blank. We go to Ray Knight. 5-5. That's a double to right field. Look at that. Ray Knight just doubles to right field. A pinch hit double. That's going to be it for Roden for sure. Concepcion will score easily from third. Geronimo, there are 2 outs, so he becomes a 4. And let's see, the double to right, you lose 1, so that brings it back to a 3. And then the right fielder arm, Reggie Smith, is a 0. So 1 to 3, and Geronimo will score. He does. And since it's a 1, Ray Knight has a chance to move up to third base on the throw. His BR rating is a 2. If we get another 1 or a 2, he will move to third base. He does not. He stays at second. But 2-run double off the bat of Ray Knight with 2 outs. All this happening with 2 outs and the base is empty. These 2-out rallies are killing the Dodgers for sure. Rick Roden now maybe just about out of this game. We shall see. Pete Rose is going to be your batter. And we'll have to figure out who the new pitcher is going to be for the Reds when the time comes, because Billingham is no longer in there. But he is the pitcher of record. He can still get the win for sure. So Pete Rose facing Rick Roden. Lasorda is going to try to let Roden get out of the inning. 4-4, that's a blank. We go to Pete Rose. 1-6, question mark 7 against the righty. Goes to 11, but that's a 13. So just a fly ball to left field to end the inning. But 2 more runs for the Reds, and they take a 4-2 lead as we go to the 6th. 4-2 on a big pinch hit RBI 2-run double from Ray Knight. So Sparky pulled the right trigger there using Ray Knight instead of a lefty. And now we need a new pitcher for the Reds. Let's see who they might want to go to. They are going to go to right-hander. Well, let's see. It might be a little early for that. So let's see. 6th inning. They might have to go with somebody that's got a little bit of length on from their bullpen. Let's see who they might want to turn to here. They're going to go to Fred Norman. He's a starter/reliever, but he's got some length. So they will go to Fred Norman. He will be the new new Reds pitcher, rather. Fred Norman. He did have 1 relief appearance, so certainly able to do that. He'll be facing Smith, Say, and Garvey, so switch and 2 rights, but they need the length, so they're going to go with Fred Norman. A little early for Pedro Bourbon, so Norman to Smith. 1-1 strikeout chance, and he got him. So Fred Norman comes in and strikes out Reggie Smith to start the inning. That's going to bring up the Penguin, Ron Cey. 3-1 to range play would go to Ron Cey's card. 4-1 single to center, but Geronimo could take that away. Geronimo's range is a 4. 1-4, and the hit has been taken away. It is. So Ron Cey loses that single as Geronimo makes the running catch. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 6th. Here's Garvey. 5-6 for Norman. That's an automatic out to a lefty, but to a righty it's a blank, so we go to Garvey. Finish the at-bat. 4-2. Fly to center, and Geronimo will take care of that as well. And the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Still 4-2 in favor of the Reds, and I believe the Dodgers will make a move to the bullpen as Rick Rhoden has been lifted. And we'll see who the Dodgers wish to bring in. It's Griffey, Morgan, and Foster. So 2 lefties right away, which leads me to believe they would bring in a lefty out of the bullpen. So let's see who they might want to bring in from the left side. Who might they use? From the left side, they're going to use Stan Wall. So Stan Wall is coming on to pitch for the Dodgers. He will be in to face Griffey, Morgan, and Foster. 4-2, bottom of the 6th. 4-1 is a range play right off the bat. So we go to Griffey for a range check. 6-4 is a ground ball to short. That's to Russell. His range is a 5. And this time he does make the play. Last time he rolled a 6 and couldn't get it. This time he does get it. And there is one away for Joe Morgan. Morgan walked twice. 2-2, strikeout chance 19 is way too high. Go to Morgan. And we get a 6-1, which is a question mark 7 against lefties. It goes to 14. That's a 1. It's going to be a base hit for Joe Morgan. He gets his first hit of the game. Little Joe. He's still a threat to run. His attempt is a 5, but -1 from Wall is a 4. It is a 4, so Morgan's going to go. 17 plus 1's an 18. Yeager's a 0. So 1 to 18, he will steal it. 19, they throw him out. How about that? Steve Yeager comes up firing, and Morgan can't believe it. Got caught stealing, but Lopes put on the tag for 2 outs. And George Foster, the batter. 2 outs and the base is clear now. 6-4, that is a strikeout chance. Just 6-3 would have been a home run chance. 6-4 is a strikeout chance, but too high, so no strikeout. Foster will swing 1-2. He's going to double to left field. Boy, how big is that caught stealing now? That double to left field by Foster. And that'll bring up Bench. And now you wonder if they'll stick with Wall, that lefty, because you got these righties coming up. So I believe Lasorda is going to go to his righty out of the bullpen. Probably left Stan Wall in there one too many. They were hoping they can finish the inning, but not the case. So Wall will leave, and they will bring in right-hander Elias Sosa. So Sosa is your right-handed relief pitcher into the ball game to face Mr. Bench, with Foster at second and 2 down. No strategy roll needed because Foster can't steal third, and there's no pickoff or balk chances, so we just go straight to the at-bat. Sosa, 4-4, strikeout chance 11, got him. So Sosa comes in and strikes out Bench to end the inning, and we go to the 7th with the score still 4-2 in favor of the Reds. And Fred Norman's going to stay in there to pitch. And he'll be facing, for the Dodgers, he will be facing Rick Monday. Lefty on lefty matchup. Do you pinch hit for Monday? He fortunately is rated for splits, because there were some years Monday is not, because he didn't have enough at bats against lefties, but apparently this year he did. And so he's actually got a couple of singles here, so we're going to let him. Now the question marks are definitely in favor of the righties, but we're going to go ahead and let him stay in there and hit. So Rick Monday, or do we? Let's see. He's a liability on defense for sure. Let's see who they got on the bench they might want to use to pinch hit. They might want to go to a righty here in this situation. Just playing the percentages. Let's see what they want to do. They're going to go to, boy, who do you go to in this situation? Could go to Lee Lacy, maybe. I think that's who they're going to go to, is Lee Lacy. Lee Lacy is not rated for center field, but he is rated for left field, and they can move Baker over to center field. That would be the move there. So Lee Lacy is going to lead things off against Mr. Norman. Lacy will stay in the game to play left field. Baker will move to center. And as a center fielder, Dusty Baker, actually Baker's not rated for center field. Reggie Smith is. So Reggie Smith is actually going to be the one moving to center field, not Baker. Reggie Smith in center field is a 2-0-0, so much more of a liability. Did my scoreboard go out? What happened here? Did I lose power? I think my battery just ran out. Anyway, that was the thing there, so we'll go on without it. Let's see here. Thought I had enough juice on there to get the whole game done, but apparently not. All right, so we'll just deal with it. Lacy is the new right fielder. And in right field, he is a 2-17 and a 1, +1. But he will lead off here in the top of the 7th of a 4-2 Reds lead. Norman, 1-1. Strikeout chance 10 is too high. Lacy gets to swing. 2-2. Fly to right field, 1 away. So 1 down as Lacy fails in the pinch. And that moves us over now to the aforementioned Dusty Baker. He will be on to face Norman. So we got a 6-2. That's a super walk. And Dusty Baker will draw the walk. And now if you're the Dodger or you're the Reds, you got to be careful and don't let Norman let things get away. Yeager is your batter. Strategy rolls are still on, so Baker has an attempt of, actually has an attempt of 0, but there are pickoff chances. Nothing happening. So Yeager against Norman, infield halfway. 2-6. That would be a single, but he's not tired. Go to Yeager. 4-5. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Now you lose one on the double play when it goes back to the pitcher. So he drops from a 3 to a 2 because of that. The pivot is the second baseman, Morgan, who is a +1, so it goes back to a 3. And so it's a 1-3 for a 1-3 for a double play. It is a 3, so it is going to be a double play. It's going to go 1-4-3, and the inning is over. And Norman gets through the inning without any damage done, and the Reds maintain their 4-2 lead as we go to the 7th inning stretch here at Riverfront. And do it for the Reds. It'll be Dreesen, Concepcion, and Geronimo. And if anybody got on, we would pinch hit for Fred Norman. Sosa only faced 1 batter, so he can face 5, so he should be able to get through this inning. 2-1, possible error on a ground ball. 1-4, that's a single to short, so that becomes a base running play, not an error play. S6 on an error chance. Whoops, here down here. Error chance, and S6 becomes a number 4, which is no error check. Roll 1d6 versus the BR rating of the runner. His BR rating is a 3, and it says if roll is higher, he's out. Otherwise, it's a single. So a 1, 2, or 3, it's a single. 4, 5, or 6, he is thrown out. That's a 3, so Dreesen beat it out. There was no error, but there is a single for Danny Dreesen. So Danny Dreesen leads off the 7th with a base hit. He will now be followed by Mr. Concepcion. Dreesen, attempt of 6. So he will get a chance to steal if he wants to. 14 minus 1 is a 13. Yeager is a 0. 1 to 13, they'll send him. And he's in there. Possible throwing error on Yeager. His throwing error rating is a 19. So that's going to get chucked into center field, and Dreesen will take it all the way to third base. So second error. Actually, the first one on the dodge. Second throwing error on a steal attempt. One by Bench and now one by Mr. Yeager. Stolen base and then the E2. And now the infield's going to have to come in with nobody out. They didn't really need the strategy attempt because there's no pickoffs. Sosa, 4-2. That's an automatic out. What kind of an out? It's a 1, which is a fly to left. So is it a sacrifice fly? His sacrifice fly rating for Concepcion is a 2. It is not going to work. Dreesen is a 3. Left fielder arm. Remember, Lacy is a new left fielder, is a +1, so it's a 4. 1 to 4, it's a sacrifice fly. It is. So Dreesen comes in on the Concepcion sacrifice fly. And that throwing error set the whole thing up. And now it is a 5-2 Reds lead for Cesar Geronimo. And a pinch hitter is on deck for the Reds. So that will be it for Norman. Geronimo steps in against Sosa with the bases cleared now. 4-1. Range play at the ballpark. We go to Riverfront. 5-5, and that is a home run to the pull side. So the range has nothing to do with this unless it's a failed home run. Geronimo is a home run rating of 5. That's a 20. It's a failed home run, so it's a fly to right field, but it is a range play. And if you fail the range play, it turns into a double. So let's see. The right fielder is Lacy. His range is a 2. He failed it, so it's a double for Cesar Geronimo. He missed the home run, but he gets the double in the failed range play. So double by Geronimo. And now we'll get a pinch hitter for the Reds for Fred Norman. And it will be Mike Lum. Lefty, not a very good hitter, but you're up by this much, you might as well let him hit. So Mike Lum, the pinch hitter, with runner at second. Strategy rolls are now off. Sosa, 4-1. Another range play at the ballpark. Lum, 4-2. Star 6. That is a fly to right. So again, another range check for Mr. Lacy. He's again a 2. And he can't get it. So it's going to be a potential double. Nope, it's just going to be a single to right field on a failed range play. So a single to right. Let's see if Geronimo can score. He's a 3. +1 arm for Lacy makes him a 4. Single to right. You on a single to right, you add 1, makes him a 5. So anything other than a 6, and Geronimo will score. And he's a 6, so it's possibly can be out. So the arm of Lacy is a +1. So on a +1, a 3 through 6 he will hold. 1 or 2 he's possibly could be out. 4 he will hold. So because of the +1 arm he will hold. But Lum, pinch hit single, puts runners on the corners. Still only 1 out, and Pete Rose, the batter. Sosa now is tired, so they will pull Sosa and go to someone else. Let's see who they might want to go to in this situation. They will go to... It's not an enviable task at this point to pick anybody. They will go to Mike Garman. So Mike Garman is on to pitch to Rose. And he's in there. He's going to lead off next inning, but his job is just to get out of this inning with just 1 run allowed. But that's going to be enviable with runners at the corners and only 1 out. Again, no strategy rolls. So we just... Infield is at double play depth for Rose. Garman, 6'3". That's a blank to a switch hitter batting left, so nothing happening there for Rose. Rose will swing 2-2. Fly to right could be a sacrifice fly. His sacrifice fly rating is a 1. Nope, not going to happen. Geronimo is a 3, but the +1 arm from Lacey makes him a 4. And he's going to make the sacrifice fly. So a second sacrifice fly, this one to right field. And that will score Geronimo. And it is now 6-2 Reds, as Pete Rose gets the sacrifice fly credit. 2 down, and Ken Griffey the batter. Garmin 3-4, and that is a range play. Infield is all the way back with 2 outs. 3-6, it's a ground ball to first. Checking the range of Garvey. His range is a 4. And he makes the play, flip to Garmin to end the inning, 3-1. So 7 innings are in the books. Need a new pitcher for the Reds. And Garmin, we'll need a new pitcher for him as well, because they're going to lead off with a pinch hitter here in the top of the 8th. So first things first, the Reds have to declare who the pitcher is going to be. And let's see, 6-2 ball game. Who might they want to use as a pitcher? It's not a save situation any longer. So they've got some leeway on who they want to use here. They're going to go with Manny Sarmiento, a right-hander. Manny Sarmiento is on. And pinch hitter coming up for the Dodgers. Let's see who they want to use as a pinch hitter. They're going to use left-handed pinch hitting John Hale. They do have Manny Mota, but they'd rather save him when people on base. So John Hale will pinch hit here in the 8th against Sarmiento. 6-2 Reds. 3-2, and that's a possible error on a ground ball. 2-2, fly to left, no error there. Hale is retired. 1 down, back to the top of the order for Davey Lopes. Lopes is 0 for 2. He walked and grounded out twice. 5-6, that's a range play at Riverfront. 5-6, that's a ground ball to third. We're checking the range of Pete Rose. His range is only a 1, so not very good chance. It is a failed range play. Is it a single or a double? It's a double down the line, so Davey Lopes sneaks it past Rose for a 1-out double. As the Dodgers try to show some life, that'll bring up Bill Russell against Sarmiento, and Borbone is loosening the pen just in case. Sarmiento, 3-6. That's automatic out on a star line. And the out will be a fly to center. That is out number 2. Geronimo has a -1 arm. Lopes is a 3, but you lose 2 trying to get there, so it'll be a 0, so he cannot move up. And honestly, down by 3, you probably wouldn't risk it anyway, or down by 4, as he's already in scoring position. That's going to bring up Reggie Smith. Sarmiento, 2-2. Hit by pitch chance, 7. But Sarmiento's a -10, so no chance there. Reggie Smith, 3-3. Star 3 is a fly to right. That's going to end the inning as Griffey puts it away. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 6-2. Reds comfortably in front. Dodgers will need a new pitcher for the bottom of the 8th, and since it's nearly over, there's no sense holding back anybody else, so they're going to bring in the knuckleballer Charlie Huff, try to keep the score where it is, and he'll be facing Morgan, Foster, and bench. So Little Joe against the knuckleballing Charlie Huff. 6-2 Reds, bottom of the 8th, as my scoreboard conked out. 1-6 against a lefty. That's a straight up home run chance. Morgan's a 13. That's a 19. So no home run, but Morgan will swing. So Huff escaped that one. 5-1 is going to ground to short. So Huff got a break there. And Morgan is a ground out. That will bring up George Foster with 1 out. Huff 1-5, strikeout plus or super strikeout, and that will do it. He's a 10, but the super strikeout makes him a 20, and that is a 20. So Foster will strike out via the super strikeout. Out number 2 for Johnny Bench. 3-3, and that is a blank to a righty. 1-3, single to center field. So Johnny Bench with a 2-out single, and I don't believe the Dodgers have not had a 1-2-3 inning all game, and that trend just continued even further. And Danny Dreesen is your batter coming up. 2-2, ballpark card going to Riverfront Stadium. 5-1's going to pop it up to Yeager, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the ninth. Still 6-2. They're going to leave Sarmiento in there until he gets in trouble. Bourbon is loosening the pen just in case, but they may let Sarmiento go ahead and just finish things out. He's faced 4 batters. He can face 7 before he gets tired. So here's Ron Say to start the top of the ninth of a 6-2 ball game. 5-2. That's an automatic out on a star line. And the out will be a fly to center field. 1 down here in the ninth. That'll bring up Garvey, followed by Lee Lacy, unless they want to pinch it for Lacy. They might bring Manny Mota in to pinch it for Lacy. Probably will. 5-4. That is a strikeout chance because he's not tired, but 19 is too high. We go to Garvey. 4-2, fly to center, 2 down. So 2 flyouts to Geronimo. And that's going to bring up Lacy, but he will be called back, and Manny Mota will pinch hit as a last gasp effort by the Dodgers. They will send up Manny Mota. Manny Mota. 395 average in just 38 at-bats. And he walks a lot, too. You can see the 18, he walks a lot. Sarmiento, 1-3. Home run chance. Look at that. Straight up home run chance. That's an 8. That's a 4. Manny Mota just hits a pinch hit home run to cut the lead to 6-3. 6-3 ball game. And now Bourbon starts to loosen again, just in case. And Sarmiento is now tired. It still wouldn't be a save situation, though. And let's see, Dusty Baker is your scheduled hitter. You're not going to pinch hit for Dusty. So he will hit against Sarmiento. But if anybody gets on, it would become a save situation, and then they would bring in... Oops, I'm not sure how he got in there. Then he would bring in Bourbon, but they're going to let him pitch to Baker. He is tired. Let's keep that in mind. 2-3, and look at that. He's tired, and he gives up this. That's an automatic hit. That's an automatic hit. Or is it automatic? No, it's not an automatic hit because it's nothing over here. He didn't get out, so it's a blank when it go over here. So he has to come out of the game after this at bat regardless. But he could get Baker out to end the game, so hold the phone on that one. 1-2, it's a single to center, so that's going to do it for Sarmiento. He could not close the deal, and they will bring in Bourbon to try to close the deal once and for all. It is now a safe situation at 6-3 with a runner on. The tying run is on deck. So when the tying run is on deck, it becomes a save situation. And Pedro Bourbon, who had 18 of them in 1977, is in to pitch. Yeager is your scheduled hitter. See if they want to let him hit. He was a .256 hitter with 16 home runs, so they don't really have anybody better on the bench, so they're going to let Yeager hit in this situation. Strategy rolls are still off. Bourbon, 3-4. Potential wild pitch. That's a 3. It will be a wild pitch, so Baker will take second on the wild pitch. So Bourbon comes in and immediately tosses a wild pitch, but Baker's run doesn't mean anything. It's Yeager's run that matters. Or actually, the guy on deck's run that matters. But all right, Bourbon, 2-5. That's a walk chance. 18 is too much. Go to Yeager. 5-6. That's a fly to left, and the ball game is over. The Reds defeat the Dodgers by the score of 6-3. Winning pitcher was Jack Billingham, and the loser was Rick Rhoden. The save goes to Pedro Bourbon. So, hope you enjoyed that presentation of Inside Pitch, just a little exhibition game. Trying to practice a new setup. Apologize for the scoreboard. I should have had that better charged. think it was only like 40% before I started, and I should have had it up a lot higher so it wouldn't conk out on me. But anyway, it's my first trial run using this board and these little placeholder cards, so that was interesting. A little practice never hurts, I guess. Of course, RJL is the guru of inside pitch, but if he does things and they seem like good ideas, I'll try to, incorporate them in my play setup if it seems like it, is a good idea. He's got his little place card that he uses for the base running advancement on hits to the outfield. I may do something with that. I may not. I don't know. It's not that much of a deal for me to add them up. But yeah, I would definitely, if you like this game, I would definitely give it a purchase if you haven't. And if you're not unsure of the rules and the runnings, RJL did a couple of demonstration games where he thoroughly goes through everything, and you can certainly watch that. And without even reading the rule book, you can kind of just catch on by watching. So it's going to do it from here. 6-3, Reds over the Dodgers. Stratomac Demolition League is still active and going on, and I'll probably have a video on that shortly. But I did want to just do this one here just to see how it all turns out with this new setup and see if it's something feasible for me to try in the future. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.